after and mine for the little gems and make notes?
Yeah, so I think I'm recording it also, Lori,
Oh, cool. Okay.
because that way I can drop it into the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So I've got a structure forming here in the euro. I had this move up and I failed to take out this high here. But I also failed to take out this low. I had ended up at the double bottom off this, and I've only moved 30 pips today. So if it does its normal range of 60 pips, it's got to go 30 pips above this or 30 pips below this. It's got to break one of these two. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
So I don't know. It could stay in this range. We did have red news this morning.
CPI.
We had core retail sales right here. But things are, I mean, this is like riding a bull. You know, I mean, this market, because now you got the problem of all the ships in Los Angeles and Long Beach that they've got like 1 million containers they can't unload. So you've got a lot of things affecting the market, you know. So it's a matter of the structure, looking at the, so that's what I'm doing right now, is looking at the structure. So I had a failure. I had this move up. I expected this. Do you see how short this move? First of all, my moving averages are starting to roll over. That means, and the shorter these moves get, and then it took out this low. So that was a hint at the structure, and then it failed to take out this high. So I'm expecting it to drop. I'm expecting it to drop. But then I had this engulfing candle, so I'm in a state on the euro of not knowing what it's going to do. But I'm because of this structure here, I'm expecting it to drop. But I just started analyzing the chart, so I'm going to keep going through them.
Frank, before you move off that one, I just wanted to ask real quick. Christy was saying when you have something that looks like either an M or a W, like that looks like an M to me.
It is.
And she said the end of it tends to be more exaggerated and will continue down. So do you agree with that?
Yes. M and W patterns are one of the biggest patterns that you can find.
So that's a double bottom.
So this is a double bottom, all right? And here's
Another
your
way of saying an M.
here's your M right here. You had, let me see. Let me find, so this is the top of the M.
It's a funny looking M, but it's kind of an M
Yeah, it is.
if you squint.
And this one over here is called half a Batman.
Half of what?
Half a Batman. This is like a set of Batman ears, but this side's been lopped off.
All right.
It's,
I didn't
it's,
want to slow you down. I just wanted to confirm that what she
yeah,
was
so
saying.
an M pattern, and you can see this in here. You have the move up, which was like this. Then you have the move down. And then you have, and this could be, it can be a double top or it can be just slightly above. And then you have the move down. So we had this move up and then it came down. And usually this was a lopsided M, because This went a little higher. Usually an M will come right back up to here and form the top here. Is pretty much a double top, and then it drops. So that was this here, right? So your M was basically completed in this move here, but then it came back up again. And your W, of course, is just upside down. It's the same type of pattern, a W, and you'll see these all the time. This really significant, this pattern here, or let me draw a W. So a W comes down, and it's kind of a head fake because like you'll have a shallower pullback, right? And then it starts dropping. And you believe, like we've been discussing, you believe it's going to form a lower low than this because of this pattern here. And then it forms somewhat of a double bottom. It could be a little exact, so this could come down slightly, a little lower. And then when it, usually the point to get in this is when it breaks what they call the apex.
Okay,
So there or there, because this is the reversal pattern. This is a reversal pattern. They're called M and W patterns. I took one course. That's all he taught was looking for M and W patterns.
yeah, well, they're pretty prevalent, so that's good.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Even I can see them.
Yeah. So that was a good topic to bring up. So this one we had here, there was the apex right there. And then it came back up. Normally, like I say, it would only come right back up to, I mean, a true impact. This is the true, but normally it would come back up into here, form a double top, and then it would drop. And you actually have another M pattern right here. So you, no, you don't. No, you don't. You would have had an M pattern if it did this. It came down to here, formed a double top, and then dropped. So it's not quite. But look for those, Lori. They're really good. Matter of fact, as we go through here, we'll see if we can spot any.
Good morning.
Good
And,
morning, Tracy.
So when, like you said, when it breaks that apex, that's when you're getting in typically?
Yeah, so typically if you see an M pattern, you get your double top here, or you get your double bottom here, and then when it breaks the apex, it's usually a good place to get in. Because as Christy said, usually this move will be longer. I mean, this will be an exaggerated move here. Because it's trying to reverse here, and so now it's on its way down.
This example that you just showed there, where it broke it, if you would have gotten in and then it went back up, where would your stop had been in relation to that? Up by the yellow line where it had gone high before?
Yes, yeah. Your stop loss would be above your double top, your double bottom. And like I said, I drew this one exaggerated because this is really a false breakout. So you're expecting it, if it is an M pattern, you're expecting it, and these usually only happen, they happen all over the place, but where these are really significant is if you're at the top of a move or if you're at the bottom of a move. Because if you get a W pattern down here, this is actually kind of a little W here. So that there's major W's and minor W's, but when they happen at the very bottom or the very top, they're significant.
Tracy, I think we're getting it.
I think so.
Things are starting to click, 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 click. If I could teach my son with Asperger's this, because they are really good at seeing patterns. He
You
might just,
could hire him then.
he might be the new Bill Gates of the family. Well, the good parts of being Bill Gates.
This pattern here is really significant too. I don't want to be crude, but it's like somebody giving you the finger.
Oh,
All right, so when you get this, and then that's a pump and dump, and then you see where it settles down, it quiets down, and then it starts to head down. So whenever you see, if you open up your chart and you see something like this, that ends up being fairly significant. And that is usually a news announcement. That's usually the knee-jerk reaction, the news announcement, and then it settles back down. I can almost recognize news announcements without even looking at the calendar, just by the chart action. So with this drop in gold, it would be interesting to see if it forms a high up in here somewhere and then starts to drop again. But I'm going to go back over the chart, the structure here. This structure, I see a structure here. It wanted to come down, so I have the lower high here, and then it did form the lower low. And I would have expected, so I would have drawn and I did. But this is a 38 fib. This is a 61.8 fib on this move down. Remember I told you I draw the Fibonacci and just to clear my charts up. So on this move here, there was my 61.8 and there's my 38. So if it would have started going back down at the 38, which it didn't, it went past the 38, because here's my 38 here, then I would have been looking for a continuation down. But the fact that it's at the 61.8 now, I should, if it's going to drop, I should get a big push down. But as I said, it should break, unless it ranges in this all day long, which it could do. It should break this line or this line, because I've only moved 31 pips today. And the normal range is 60 pips. So it has the potential to go 30 pips above this or 30 pips below this. And since it topped out here and since it topped out here, you would think that the pressure would be to move back down, because to start taking out some of these positions here. That's what I would assume.
Is that your little indicator there on the top right box, Frank, where it says 180-day average, what? Average daily range?
Yes, I can send that to you guys. It only works on MT4.
No, I'm using MT4, so that's good. Where do you set that up? Do you know?
Yes, give me a second here.
Yeah, no rush. No rush. Take your time.
And I will put it in the chat box.
Perfect.
Called daily data is what it's called.
look at all those goodies you have in there.
Oh, I've got candle counter. I mean, you guys asked about timers. I've got a timer in here somewhere for candles.
That's like your jewelry, your accessories.
Yeah.
And you've built all these, Frank, or do you download some of them?
All the classes I've been in, people have these custom things, and so they'll say download this. They're all free. Well, unless I joined a course and spent 4 or 5,000, they would give you all their indicators.
Oh, I thought that one you paid for, no?
This one? No, this came,
Oh, okay.
so let me see if I can, I copied that. Let me see. There it is. That works. Now, see if that shows up in your chat. Or do I?
Yeah, I
have-
got it.
All right. So now what you need to do, Tim, to put it on your MT4 chart, you go over here to file and open your data folder.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then you go to the MQL4
Mm-hmm.
and you drop that file in your indicators.
Okay.
Then you have to do a refresh and then it should show up. And then all you got to do is drag it into your chart.
Perfect. Great. Thank you.
And it's always been for me a pretty useful tool to take a look at. You know, it tells you what your spread is, what your high of the day, your low of the day, the range for today, yesterday's range. This information has really been pretty useful. But you can try. Let me know, Tim, if you have any problems installing that in your MT4.
I will. Thank you.
Now that's an old indicator, so I don't know if it works on MT5, but you can try it if you have MT5.
No, I think I'm still on MT4. So.
All right.
I'll try. Did you say you go to file and then NQ?
So you go to file and open up data folder.
Oh, okay.
So that brings up all of your files and then you go to MQL4.
Okay.
And then you drop that into, so you take that file and you drop it into indicators. Then to install it on your chart, you go to View Navigator. And if it doesn't show up, you have to just right click into the white here somewhere and hit refresh. And then it should show up. Oops. And it's got like an exclamation mark. And it should say daily data. This one right here. But I was going to give you all just another hint. When you get up, the big question is when you get up in the morning, what are you looking at? All right. So I picked up $300 really fast this morning because I was just going to scan through the charts. Is it hard to see that gold is dropping here?
Not at all.
Not right. So when I saw that, I said, I'm just going to look for that little orange line right there. I said, I'm going to wait for it. I'm going to wait. And I saw this wick and then I started to drop. And then, because I knew that it was dropping. I mean, it's pretty obvious it's heading in that direction. So as you scan through your charts, this whole area here, I mean, if I opened up my charts and I saw this, can you see this is going up? I mean, just visually, I don't have to do anything. Visually, I can just see I'm in an uptrend. So if you can visually see which direction it's going, your gut instinct is pretty much that it's going to continue to go in that direction. You know, so just wait for your pullbacks, and then you're waiting for your breaks of the highs. You know, your pullbacks, your breaks of the highs.
Yeah, and that's what I didn't see, even though you pointed it out on the gold. I didn't see where you had a pullback.
It was on, this is a 1 hour, so let me change this to a 15-minute. Right here.
Okay, I got you. All right, yeah.
All right, and I said, I'm gonna get in if it breaks this, then it broke this. I picked up $300 and said, I'm good for right now.
All right, good.
But yeah, so you know, if you see something like on a 1 hour chart, a direction on a 1 hour chart, then you go to your 15, your 5 and say, all right, where was the pullback?
Right.
You know, then you can see your pullbacks and stuff.
Gotcha.
And that's why dropping, but that's why I start on the 1 hour. Because if I can see a direction on the 1 hour, you know,
Right.
I already know, I've already got my bias now. So then I drop down and say, all right, I've got my bias. I'm going to drop down to the 15-minute and see what it looks like in the 15-minute. And so like, let's say I missed this candle here. I know it's heading down. I'm waiting to see what the candle action is at the close of this. So I had this little dinky candle and then I had this continuation. I could have gotten back in there.
Mm-hmm.
But the rules, there's a lot of this, Tim, that's just your gut feeling. And you can follow your gut feeling if you don't risk too much.
As long as you are setting up your stop loss is good enough.
Yeah, or your risk.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
But that was literally like a 10-minute $300 deal. You know, normally I'd just be done for the day, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you go about your business. Now, when I look at this structure here, I can't visually see. I'm pretty honest with the group. I don't know if it's going to go up or if it's going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. I mean, I'd like to see something like this, or I'd like to see something like this, where I can see which direction it's heading, and then my moving averages confirm that, right? These are both heading down. There's angle and separation, and I can see that it's heading down. I'm waiting to see. All right, I know it's going to come back up and test this because that used to be support. The
Mm-hmm.
question is, does this support become resistance? You know, so I'd be looking now if it came all the way back up into here again, I wouldn't know if it's going to continue to go. I just wouldn't know. That's kind of like where I'm at over here right now. I can see a structure forming. I have a high, I have a lower high. Then it broke this and formed a lower low, right?
Mm-hmm.
It hit the 61.8, which is usually a turning spot. That usually, and you've heard me say it bounces off the 61.8, which it did. Right here, it bounced off the 61.8, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
But just barely.
yeah, but I mean, that's what's so amazing about Fibonacci's is this was pretty right here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now it's starting to form a structure that I like. All right. But because I had this big candle up, this is almost like a middle of the road. Someone's showing you the finger here. This is a pump up, pump down.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I'm still, because of all this action in here, I'm not as sure as if I were over here. This is the shift candle. I mean, it's shifting zones. What it does is it's shifting zones. And this shallow pullback, when it broke this, I would have been interested in selling.
Zones is in Fibonacci zones.
No, just a trading zone, a trading area. And I got that same thing here. And so I would have expected, what I would have expected when I saw this, I saw the shift. I would have expected it to come up. And this is just stuff, Tim, that you pick up, all right? This was support right here, right? When it broke through that support, I would have expected a test and then a continuation. And I would have bet you $100 it was going to break this low, and it didn't. It came down to it, and then I got a reversal. But had it continued down, I would have been saying, all right, I'm today I'm heading down, and I would have expected to at least have come down to here.
Mhm.
So I would have gotten in this trade, and immediately it would have gone against me.
Right, even though an hour or 2 hours later, it went where you,
Yeah. So now let's follow this with a trend line. I've now formed a trend line, right?
Mhm.
And I said when we first got on that I expected this to go low, but I expected it to go low here, and then I got the big reversal candle. So now what I'm waiting for a structure, I'd like to see another up move, but I'd like to see a shallow up move. I'd like to see it form a high somewhere like in here. And see, I mean, this is so erratic. But when it came down to here, it immediately got this big. So there was price rejection as soon as it got down here.
Mhm.
So I would like, because it's pretty early in the day, if it's going to continue down, I'd like to. I know it's got a potential of doing 50 pips today.
Mhm.
That's the daily average. So I would like to see it break through here and do a retest and then continue down. That's what I'd like to see.
Mhm.
But every time, this seems to be like support here.
Mhm.
So I'd like to see it at least break through here, retest, and then I'd like to see it continue. I'd like to see a big candle start moving down. But right now, I can't tell you. I see the structure, but I can't. It's not really following the structure, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to continue on and say, as I scan through my charts, is there anything that I see that I have a good feeling about? And that's why I've got all, and the Japanese yen continues to, be a Bezos record. I wonder if William Shatner's on this. I don't know. Because they're in the stratosphere now. And let's talk about this. Look at what the Japanese yen pairs have been doing. So this is the euro yen, the pound yen, and they're all being driven by just the price of the yen. All right. When you get a movement like this,
So that's the yen going down.
yeah, that's the USD yen going down.
Yeah, right.
And this should start dropping a little, and this should start dropping a little. But keep in mind now the euro. What's the euro doing? So the euro is heading down, but it's in this cluster here. But what I was going to say is I've got on the yen pairs. I have no. We talked about this last night. I've got no reference point unless I drop down to if I drop down to the 4 hour, I'm still in the 4 hour stratosphere.
Mhm.
Right? I've got no reference point to see where the selling pressure is going to come in.
Right.
So I don't want to hit the buy button here and say, oh, it's just going to keep going higher. And
Right.
it's going higher all day. But at some point in time, there's going to be profit taking and there's going to be a reversal. And I just don't know where that's at. So if I don't know, I don't trade it.
Right. And my question, my comment was when it's listed euro Japanese yen, that is the yen losing value. even though the chart's up, that's the
No.
one you're on now is the pound getting more valuable.
No, when you have the USD, Japanese yen,
Right, that's the dollar getting more valuable and the yen getting less valuable.
that is, yeah, so this is, right now the yen is starting to drop in price. No, just a minute. So this is the USD.
Right, it's that's showing what the dollar's doing against the yen, right? I guess it doesn't matter. I probably shouldn't be asking this question, but
Yeah, it's the dollar versus, so if you take this, which is the pound yen, all right, this should be dropping as well. But let me take this to a 15-minute chart. This should be dropping as well, all right?
Yeah.
And you're right. So the euro,
something's making the yen more valuable
yeah. But
against those three.
It's the yen that's driving the price.
Yes. Yes, I get that. Yes.
So it's not the pound that's the driver. It's not the US and it's not the euro. The driver is what is the yen doing.
Yes, I get that.
All right.
And the only reason I brought that up, I find it curious. You would wonder if there's some Japanese news.
No, gold and the Japanese yen used to be regular as a clock. If there's
Really?
if there's insecurity in equities in the stock market, the two safe haven currencies were considered the yen and gold.
Really?
So they'd pull their money out of the stock market and they'd put it into yen and gold.
I thought that was the dollar. Since when did the yen? I thought the yen.
Like I said, that the yen and gold used to be considered the safe haven.
Right.
So, but you could count on big movement if there was insecurity in the stock market. But the stock market seems, lately, Tim, and that, so this is a learning experience for everybody. I mean, I don't care how long you've been trading. All right.
Yeah.
We're in some weird times now. I mean, we're in, there's a lot of insecurity. They still don't know what's going to happen if they're going to print more money. Inflation is at 5 or 6% now. It's the highest it's been like in 10 years, right?
And yet gold's not moving.
And it is moving, but look at it. I mean, we have this movement. It's erratic. It's not like normal movement.
With inflation the way it's been going, you would
I think
think
gold would be at least at 2,000 now. Minimum.
Yeah. So it climbed up here to 1798 and it took a big dump.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And so fundamentals are hard to decipher anymore. All right.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think it's one reason why I find what you're doing.
It's not hard to see.
Right.
It's like, let the analysts do their job on Wall
Yeah.
Street and I'll just follow their lead. That's all I'll do.
Well, I think that's kind of the point here, right? 1 hour is about as much foreknowledge as you can get these days.
Yeah. So, when I'm scanning my charts, I start off on my 1 hours and my 4 hours and say, can I see a direction on my 4 hours?
Right.
Right. And ladies, for those who've been doing the higher highs and higher lows, if you're on a 4-hour chart, and this is price action for the week, when you can see that I've had a drop, I've had a lower high, and I'm expecting a lower low, right? You can see that on a 4-hour chart. That's really good bias of which direction the market is headed. Then you drop to 1 hour and see if you can still see. Now it could be cloudier when you go to the 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's not as certain as it was on the 4 hour. But once everything is in sync, then you drop to your 15-minute. And that's when you start looking for your higher highs and higher lows in the 15-minute and you find yourself an entry point. As you know this is the wrong chart, but you know from the 4 hour and the 1 hour that it should form a lower low. If you mark those on your 4 hour chart, you should know here was the high. The high may have been up here on your 4 hour chart, right?
Mhm.
But you know that this was the last lower high. And so if it comes up into here, you're expecting it to drop. And it's hard to say. It's hard for me to teach that. But if you can get the principles of what I'm saying, get your bias from the 4 hour and the 1 hour.
Right.
So this is the 4 hour in gold. So if it forms a high here and then it starts to drop, I would mark this on my 4 hour. And then I go to my 1 hour. It should be the same place. It's right here. And then I would go to my 15-minute and it's right there. But now I get it. Now, when I'm dropping down to my 15-minute, I can say, this was my high on the 4 hour. And I'm in a pattern of higher highs and higher lows. This was the last high on the 4 hour. It should form a lower low. Then I can expect this price in the 15-minute to start dropping. Let's see if we can find some. I'm going to just clear this chart up here a little bit. There we go. All right. So now let me take this to a 4 hour chart. On my 4 hour chart, all right, I've got, it started dropping from here. And I actually formed, so if it drops below here, then my structure on the 4 hour chart would be, I've got a lower high here. I'm expecting it to come down to maybe here. Now that's my 4 hour chart, right? But I've got a structure on the 4 hour chart of what I'm looking at.
Mhm.
Now it could go higher. I mean, but I'm going to do this in my 4 hours. Then I'm going to drop to my 1 hour. All right. I'm saying that if it drops below here, I'd look for a retest and a continuation down to here.
Mhm.
So I'm looking, what's the structure in the 1 hour doing? Because on my 4 hour, I'd like to see it drop below this on my 4 hour
Mhm.
with support being down here. Then I drop to my 15-minute to see what that structure looks like. And they look totally different, but the lines are the same.
Yeah, I get you.
So if it does drop below here, and now I can fine tune this a little bit on the smaller time frame. I can get a closer look to where support is at.
Yeah.
Did any of that make any sense to everybody? Everybody's so quiet this morning.
I think Lori stepped away for a minute. She put me right back on her chat, so she stepped away from me.
Yeah, I'm here listening. That's it. That was very that was
Does that
very
make
helpful.
does that
That was
make
really
any
helpful.
sense?
Yeah.
And your trades will be when your structure for the 4 hour, 1 hour, and the 15-minute are all lining up.
Mhm.
Then those trades are almost 95% winners.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna do another one just so we can. All right. So I can't. There's an M formation. If anybody's looking, there's an M formation. There's the apex right there. Here, 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 and it should, if it drops below this, if it's apex, then you should get some movement down.
Mhm.
That is an M formation right there.
In the midst of forming.
Well, in the midst of form, yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
complete M formation until it breaks. Then it's that is a completed M formation.
Yeah.
So since that came up this morning, I mean, there's a perfect example of the formation of an M. If it takes out the apex.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what's valuable, is seeing formations being formed.
Yeah,
It's easy to see them once they've been formed.
Mhm.
yeah, Tim, we were talking last night that it is really easy to make money when you're trading on what you see in the past.
Right.
You know, I should have got, when I get in here, and then I'm going to write it down to here. You know, I mean, everybody makes money that way. It's
Exactly.
you know, but here's what's encouraging. The formations happen over and over. And so as you see this formation happening, you now can kind of anticipate what you're looking for. And that's the important thing. What are your expectations? My expectations is, now it can drop down to here, and then it can go higher. Well, then what's my structure? I have a high here, I have a low here. It's going to go higher if it doesn't take out this low. The chance is it's going to go higher. And that's what takes the time to learn, is the of recognizing your structures forming.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But once you get that nailed, it's just a matter of being patient and then pulling the trigger when it does what you expect it to do. It's not when you think about it, it's not difficult. The difficult part is the patience. That's what's hard, because you feel like you got to be in the market all the time.
Yeah, I absolutely see that.
But you know, also to put it in simple context, let's say that you only made $600 in the whole month. That's a car payment.
You know, anything on the plus side's a good thing, right?
Yeah, it is. And like I say, you don't have to be, I mean, some people just say, all right, I want to make, their goal is, I'd like to make the car payment go away, right? So they'll trade, and maybe in the first 4 days of the trading month, they make their car payment. They're kind of done with, they got another life to live, you know? Once their car payment's made, then they step away. I'm too addicted to it. I love this stuff.
Yeah, we can tell. You're very kind with sharing your time with us, Frank. So, and I wonder also whether it's good practice to just, watch, to have
Oh,
a habit.
absolutely. You
Watch
can
on a
learn,
daily
Mara,
basis.
you can learn so much just by watching the price action.
Mhm. Right.
Absolutely. I mean, some mentors just say, don't even try and trade. Just watch the price action, see how it forms.
Yeah.
And what happens is, like a language, the more times that you see it, the more, more it becomes inscribed on your brain. And then you pretty soon you start just recognizing the patterns, because the patterns happen. They're the same patterns all the time. They don't change.
And you would say that when people kind of talk about, and when they first start trading Forex, they end up losing a lot of money. Is that because they haven't maybe properly learned how to identify
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
resistance
they
and support, or
yeah, they don't recognize any of the structure at all. If they see it going up, all right. So let's take this move here. They see it going up. The average retail trader will hit the button right here. They're going to miss the move. So as they see it going up, and they see this big candle, they hit the buy button just in time for it, and so it drops down, and it eventually does go higher, right? They're in this thing at $50 a pip, and now right here they're $500 upside down, so they get out of the trade.
right.
They just dropped $500, and if they were following the structure and say, I'm waiting for a pullback, and then I'm waiting for the break higher, if they would have gotten in here, instead of here, because of the structure,
Yeah.
they would have made $500.
Yeah, it's so funny because I was listening to this podcast, and they were basically discouraging people from trading Forex because it's so risky.
Everything is, I mean, the same patterns happen in the stock market.
Yeah,
that's
no, they were trying to
exactly
push people
true.
towards the stock market
The
and stuff.
same patterns happen in Tesla. The same patterns happen in Apple. So once you learn the patterns, you can trade any stock.
Right.
If you're a stock trader, you can. All right, let's say that Tesla, you read everything. Tesla's got a breakthrough, right? They're going to have a pullback in Tesla stock. Why is that? Because the big money wants to drop the price to get a better price to buy back in. But the big money always has an agenda. All
The
right?
difference is with Forex too, it moves a little quicker.
And is controlled by other factors than profits and than your profit statement at the end of the quarter. I mean, most stocks are driven by the quarterly earnings,
Mhm.
right? The Forex is based on inflation, employment numbers, so there's more volatility. So it's easier to pick up money in the Forex market than it is the stock market.
Mm.
And the stock market, if you open up an account with like E-Trade, you have to buy a contract, right? Minimum contract's $500. And then you have to have the margin. There's no margin in stocks. It's like,
Well, and the reason they advertise the way Mari was explaining is that, you know, the typical citizen wants to do zero work,
Mhm.
put $1,000 into Disney and collect 20 years later.
yes, that's it.
That's the difference. That's why if you want to do something like that, then yeah, you're going to lose your shirt in the Forex.
Mhm. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, interesting difference. Yeah, I mean, this is hard work,
It is. And you have to pay attention.
comparatively. Mhm, mhm.
And that's also the difference between a day trader and an investor.
Right.
If I'm an investor, I'm waiting for the S&P 500. I'm waiting for the S&P 500 to bottom out. And then I'm in it for the year, you know. I'm not in it for 15-minute candles or even daily candles. You know, I'm trying to find the bottom and then get in and hold on to it if I'm in an S&P index.
Well, and I liked Frank's video, the original video I ever saw of his, where he says, listen, it'll take you about a year to learn. And that's about right. If you want to actually learn, it's going to take some time. You don't just go in and buy day one.
Mhm.
It's a different thing.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, Tim, because it is a profession,
Yeah,
right?
It absolutely is.
Trading, whether you're an investor, a swing trader, a day trader, a scalper, there's all these different methods of making money, but it is a profession, just like becoming a doctor or a lawyer
Yeah, absolutely.
or an engineer. So you're learning the profession. The nice thing about trading is there's no cap on how much you can make. You know, if you're, let's say they become a doctor and you spend 4 years in college, then you go to 4 years of med school, and then you do 4 years of internship, you're into your career 12 years into your career. The average doctor makes $125,000 a year.
Yeah.
I loved how you broke that down in your video.
Yeah, I did. So it's the highest, it's one of the highest paying professions that you can find, but it is a profession. You got to treat it. And I learned the lesson the hard way. I lost $50,000 when I got into this. So I got to learn how to back up my patent royalties when they run out. So this was my choice. I dropped 50 grand the first year before I said, I need some professional help. And then, you know, this course was $5,000. I took it. Then I saw another course, it was $5,000. And I wanted to know what was the difference, what this one, what's this gonna teach me? So this one is Fibonacci trading. It was all about Fibonacci retracements and all that stuff. I would take that course. So I probably have 30,000 invested in courses. But I considered it a cost of education, and I wrote it off my taxes as a cost of education.
Right.
I even wrote off my $50,000 loss as a cost of education. That was probably a little iffy.
Well, I think you can claim losses.
Yeah,
At
you
least in
can.
Canada, you can.
They're at a different rate, but I just wrote it off as a cost of education. All
Okay.
right.
Oh,
But
it
then
educated you.
I've treated this thing since day one as a profession. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, and also like in any profession, I do respect, Frank, that you're always upgrading your skills.
Yep.
Because every profession also does that.
Yeah, they're going to re-education classes and
Yeah, and things are always changing as well, or there's new technology or platforms to experiment with.
but there's another major difference. Let's say you become a doctor. All right, eventually you're going to want to open an office. Then you have to get clients, and then you got office rent. Then you've got employees, right? So you start building your practice.
And massive liability.
Massive liability. You got liability insurance. You have so many more costs to make you that come out of your $125,000. So this ends up even being a more profitable business. It is a business, but it has a lot less headaches to it. All right, guys. So is Lori still with us? Does anybody have any questions? Because I'm not, the way the market's moving, I'm not probably going to trade for the next 30 minutes.
No, I think I'm good, Frank. I need to get to work anyway. Very much appreciate your time this morning.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for opening up this room.
All right. Well, we'll if anybody, and Tim, this goes especially for you. All right. If you want a one-on-one for setting up charts or any of that stuff, just send me a text message or give me a phone call. We'll get together this weekend.
And I absolutely do, Frank. It's just hard for me to get away, but I keep trying to. I promise you, I'm going to take you up on it.
Yeah, no, I just want you to know that I'm available to you because you and I have had very few one-on-ones. So
Yeah, that's very generous, as everybody says. So everybody have a great weekend,
Thanks, Tim.
and
See ya.
we will see you guys all on Monday.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.
Tracy, are you still there?
Yeah, I've had a bunch of calls. I need to listen to the recording.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank you,
just
Laura.
wondering if you have 5 minutes to quickly show me your trading view?
Yeah, give me a minute here, please.
Is that okay? Is that okay, Frank, if we just
Yeah,
sort of?
oh, absolutely it is. I'll stay on in case I can answer any questions there
Okay,
too.
cool.
So it's just, the trade room is like people calling out trades and stuff. Bob is in Seattle today.
Oh, okay.
So-
So he's on the does he live on the West Coast?
Yeah, he lives in Temecula, California.
Oh, okay.
But what I am, no, I'll leave the recording going.
Okie dokie.
You should be able to share your screen.
Yeah, I just need to find which screen. I've got so much stuff open right now. Yeah, it's not, I mean, Laureen could probably tell you better how to do it because I don't remember where, or Frank here. She just liked how,
Well, even if you just show me how to get those like sidebars on the right.
which ones, I don't even, see, I'm not the one to tell you what somebody else helped me set. What are you looking for? This stuff here?
I can show her that if you want, Tracy.
Because did you want how to put these moving average
For those
lines
moving
on or what?
averages, yeah. Yeah, that would be cool too.
Yeah, why don't you pull yours up, Frank? Because she just saw mine, but mine was, Frank and Lorraine helped me set mine up. If Frank can pull up his screen.
Yeah, start.
I might be able to figure it out again.
We can learn to get.
Oh, there's the indicators. Yeah, I have moving averages and then, but if you don't have the paid account, like I don't have a paid one, you can only use 3 indicators. So if you want more, you'll have to either pay or else switch them out. I just have the 20, 50 and 100 up on mine.
So to add moving averages, you click your indicators.
Yeah, okay.
And
By the
moving-
way, just for comparison, I'm gonna try the app to see how that is.
You can just type in moving average up at the top and it'll pop up.
Oh, yeah, okay. I do know that if I click this, it adds it to my toolbar.
Oh,
Okay, okay.
Well, I created a
That's
tool.
good.
I created a toolbar. And I should have moving averages up here.
Oh, I'm finally back.
There you are.
How
We're-
old are your kids, Lori?
They're all teenagers. Well, my 12-year-old will be 13 October 30th. So I have then I'll have 2 13-year-olds, a 14-year-old, and a 16-year-old. And my 14-year-old is my girl,
Oh,
who you really need to multiply by a factor of 10 to equal
Uh-huh.
one of my
Nice.
boys.
Funny how
Trace
that works.
Test to it. But overall, she's a good girl. She just needs more attention.
Yeah.
so Frank, I starred my moving average thing, so it pulls up when I do it. I didn't see how I could add it to my toolbar there. Or what does it look like on the toolbar?
I'm looking, I think I created my toolbar in a different. Let me try one other thing here.
What are you looking for?
My toolbar.
Normally, you have to
Yeah, you
turn
have
it
to,
on.
you have to click favorites.
Yeah. And then you
Yeah, I
can-
did that. I put it on. Mine actually is off to the left side there that you saw.
well, you
it
can move
had-
it around, but there's a button on the lower left of that column
There it
where
is.
you can turn it on and off.
So I should have added text to my toolbar.
So which one of those is the moving average one?
I don't know that. Let me go back to indicators.
They're over on the left. See, it says MA9, MA9, MA9.
Yeah, that's what mine, or yeah, you have to touch those and go in and switch it to 20 or 100 or whatever.
Where's
Over to
that?
the, over to the
Over
left.
to the
where it
left
says
way in the left
MA,
corner.
Oh, I see. Yeah, right here.
And then click on the gear.
Yeah.
Hey, Lori, and Mari, Lori, can you, Mari has some questions on this. I think you're more fluent in Trading View than I am.
Lori's the one who helped me set mine up, I think.
Yeah, so let's see if we can help. Let's see if we can help.
Yeah, click on the gear and then you can change the,
That's
whose screen are
properties.
we looking at? Frank's? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So can you share your screen, Lori, and answer some of these questions for Mari?
Yeah, I mean,
just-
she,
Just basic,
yeah.
yeah, like moving average. I think I just got a little bit bogged down with all the different like built-in, you
So
know,
Lori, if you can share your screen, Trading View screen,
all right, hang on.
you'll probably be able to help Mari faster than I can.
well, thank you, Tebow.
Are you seeing my desk? Oh,
Yeah.
Chaos Coaster, guys.
Oh,
I should have,
why
I
don't you?
missed it.
Okay, well, no, you have time, don't you?
Well, I
Oh, no,
didn't
you
know,
have
if-
notification.
maybe while Frank's on, this would be cool if you don't mind me just inserting this a sec.
No, I'm fine. I
Can
was,
we let you?
I was
can we
getting ready
let
to
you?
shut things down because I'm just not trading the rest of the day, so.
Okay, so this is what we were looking at last night, this Christie's Chaos Coaster. It's supposed to be really good for newbies. And so I've set up my screen to work with it. So this red line, and there's a green line, I guess it's, where's the green line? There it is. Basically, when you cross the red line is, or the green line is when you're supposed to buy or sell respectively, or switch it around, sell or buy. But I don't know why this went off because I'm not seeing it. Oh, because it was on the Deutsch, the German. Okay. So I'm way too late, but see where this bar crossed the green line?
Yes.
So this is where they're saying to go long if, and I'm going to double click. This is a trick for TradingView. You'll notice when I double clicked, I got my 2 extra indicators,
Mhm.
one on top and one on the bottom. But if I don't need them anymore, I just double click in the middle of my map or my chart and they go away.
Okay, wow, that's really good. I don't.
So if you need
that
more room to
option's
see.
available
So
on-
what,
So, yeah, okay, that's good to know about the desktop version.
so this is when I got the alert right here on this bar. So I'm going to draw a red line. And so what you're supposed to do, since this was a bullish breakout, that means you're going to go long. You're confirming that you've got a green signal up here on the LMI, which we do, and that we have a green signal on the BJTSI, which we do. So then I would have pulled the trigger and gone long and I would have made money. I missed it. These kids. But I would have come here and clicked on the long position and pretending we don't see all the stuff to the right. It would have happened at, I think,
Probably
Where
when
this
that candle
bar-
closed, probably when that candle closed, doesn't she teach it?
it actually happens when it crosses the line.
All right,
So I could have entered, sometime around here. So I'm going to put that there. I'm just going to move it over. Oops. I always mess this up, don't I? Let me start over.
So this was the indicator that it's a paid one, right?
Yes, this is the paid one.
Add-on. Mhm.
But I really wanted to just kind of take Christie's, like, what they call a rule-based strategy. And she said, if you can add to it your knowledge of the charts, what Frank is teaching
Mhm.
us.
Yeah, it complements
Then-
each other.
Yes, and then you will stay out of trades that are not as good and you'll only get in the good ones. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. So what she would have done is she would have come in here, she would have set her stop loss at the swing low, which is right here. So I'm going to bring this down. Oh, and here's a trick with TradingView. If you change your pointer to a cross instead of an arrow,
Mhm.
when you click on this, you can see exactly where you're putting the line. So I'm going to put it right below that, just maybe a little bit below. All right, and now the take profit. This is where I'm not sure, Frank. She normally says do it at 1.5.
yeah,
So I'd have to drag it till, see the middle green box where it says 1.19, 125. I'm going to drag it until it says 1.5. Well, close enough. Okay. And then that's where I would have put the trade on. Now, I don't think this one would have won at that point because it only got this high and then it started to come down. So this might have been a loser.
Yeah, or you could maybe use the
it's
skills.
not, it's not a loser yet, Lori.
Right, okay. Yes, John. Okay. Let me just scoot this over. So what's kind of cool about this is that it'll stay, like when I click out of it, Oops, come on, click out of it. It just keeps the red and green, so you can kind of see where it would have played out. And what Christy does is she will copy the trade into her phone for MT4 because she's doing a funded account that uses MT4, but she uses this to monitor it
Mhm.
at any rate. Okay, so what did, while that's kind of playing out, we'll take a peek back in a minute. What did you want to know about TradingView?
Okay, so where do you find I guess it's the desktop version, just looks different, but the sidebars that Tracy has on the right.
I'm going to do a new, let me do a new chart layout. So it's
Yeah, and
kind
then
of
like
blank.
maybe from your experience, what is how best to sort of lay out the screen, I guess.
Oh crud, I never remember
For-
this.
Oh, are you talking about the watch list on the site? Or I don't even know how to use it really.
All right, let me go back here.
It just gives a bigger like indication of how that particular currency pair, the moving averages and stuff like that, and then the current
Yeah, that's the watch thing, I think. And I don't know how to,
because
I
with
think we.
MT4, MT4, I basically just use Frank's template, which is
Mhm.
perfect for me.
Okay, so here's a basic chart. I don't have any indicators on it.
Mhm.
So as far as I'd say bare minimum, I mean, like Frank, he doesn't use anything, but sometimes he'll use the moving average. So if you want to do that, you come up to here where it says indicators, and they've got lots of built-in ones that they provide from TradingView. And then the public is from users of TradingView that are sharing for free. Sometimes if they have a padlock next to it, it means that it's by invitation only, which normally means you have to pay, or you're in some sort of group. And that's why these say invite only scripts.
Okay.
These are the ones that I got from joining that group called the Perfect Entry. And I think it's like $57 a month. And you get access to all of these. In addition, they give you different strategies you can use with it. And they always say back test and test before you use it, for real. But, but there's plenty of free ones. So let's go to built-ins and type in moving average. And you'll see there's lots of different ones. This is your basic moving average. You just click on it, and then it puts it up here. And when you hover over it, it'll show you this little eye, right? Now the moving average is this blue line, right?
Yes.
And the eye, if you click it, will temporarily turn it off. So you can toggle it on and off without removing it from the chart.
Okay.
And then the toggle, or the gear, gives you all the different settings. So right now, this is set for a moving average of 9 days. So it'll take 9 candles and average them.
Right.
And that's
So
where
if you
you
want,
put your 20 or 50 or whatever.
Okay.
yeah. So if you want to change this to 20, you just go up to 20.
Type in
And you can
20.
see it. You can see it changing on the chart. Then this just says, do you only want it to show up on the 15-minute or all of them? So basically you could actually have a moving average that's based on the daily moving average on a 15-minute chart. I don't know the advantage of that, but so I just leave the defaults same as chart.
Well, there is an
So-
advantage. There is an advantage to that, Lori.
Okay.
So let's try it. So let's do a 20 moving average on a 15.
All right. So 20 moving average of what? Oh, 15-minute, okay.
15-minute, and then can we create another one that is for the hour?
Yeah, so then you can also, hold on just one sec. What do you need,
Well, you
John?
could just have that, put it on and then switch up there between your 5-minute or hour or whatever. You don't have to go put it there, because then it would
Well,
only be in those charts.
But there's an advantage to this, so.
So you just go back to indicators and type in
Moving
moving average. You can have it on as many times as you want. Now, there are some that have multiple moving averages, so you could put one indicator on and have 3 instead of having to do this 3 times, but it accomplishes the same thing.
So
So
now
we come-
set the second one up for 1 hour, 20 on 1 hour. All right. That's a very helpful tool. So there's your 20 on a 1 hour and a 20 on a 15-minute, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
is that what that, oh, you mean, oh, for
Yeah.
this chart it is then, okay.
So now you've got on your 1 hour chart, your price is above the 1 hour and it's above the 20. That's a pretty strong uptrend.
oh, okay.
So now you know what it looks like on the, and so those are 2 good moving averages. If you're trading like a 15-minute chart, is all right. I'm above the 20, not only on the 15-minute, but also on the 1 hour. So there's a way of doing multi time frame analysis by adding the same moving average at different time periods.
Okay. And if you
That's
ever forget
interesting.
what a line is for, you can like double click it and it'll bring up the box. And you can say,
Mhm.
oh, that's my 20
Mm,
on the
mhm.
15. And you can quickly change the color too. So if you like white, you know, and you want to make it thicker, you know, you can do different things like that.
So let's just take this chart as it is. What are we waiting for? You know that you're in an uptrend, right?
Yeah.
You're waiting for a pullback and a break. And just follow that through.
Mhm. And there was a pullback kind of at the top there.
Yeah, so just a poor man's way of the roller coaster thing is those lines are created. So you know those little red and blue lines that you had, Lori?
Yeah.
All right. You'll find they'll pretty well match the break of new highs and new lows.
Yes, we're on the 15-minute chart. So each of the vertical lines is, what is it showing me? Half a day. So this is the 14th. This is the 15th. What are the vertical lines showing us? 6 hours, Frank?
I don't know, Lori, unless you can draw a vertical line there and see what it says. And I think it'll give you the time, won't it?
All right, appearance, vertical lines. Scales text. That's the size of the text.
Oh,
I
can
do have-
someone remind me what does ATR mean?
Average true range of a candle. That's the average range of a single candle
Okay, within that time frame?
within that time frame.
Okay.
So you're going to have a bigger ATR on a 1 hour candle than you are on a 5-minute candle.
Okay. And then like, is there a number that you try to aim for, Frank?
Now,
What you
most
sort of
people
keep your eye on?
use an ATR, like they'll set their stop loss one ATR below the low, or they'll do their take profits. I'm looking for 2 ATR for my profit.
Okay.
That's a whole strategy in itself, how to use the ATR. There's a lot, you know what? I don't want to simplify it. There's a lot to learn in becoming a professional trader.
Yeah, I can tell. It's
There's
layers.
a lot.
upon
There's a
layers.
lot to learn, but once you learn it, you'll never ever have to worry about what are you going to do for income.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, these are 6-hour blocks. Okay. At any rate, so we're on this German index fund for 15 minutes. You can turn this thing off in the back, but since I jump around a lot, I find it easier to see it in the middle versus going up in the upper left-hand corner. But I also have it showing up here. That's just a setting. So right on the price thing, I always know what I'm looking at. So I've got 3 places to confirm what I'm looking at. And then this is just an indicator that these MAs are showing me these 2 lines where they're currently at. So, you know, the average, what did we set that for? 20-day moving average on the 15 is at 15535. But the blue one, which was the hour, is 15502. If you need it that specific versus just looking at it.
I'm gonna make you the resident trading view expert, Lori.
Well, one thing that I showed Tracy that I think is important to know is this lower right-hand corner where it says auto, because like when I go to like say the 4-hour and it gets, well, that one's not too bad, but sometimes it gets like really huge. If you just uncheck and check auto, it will put it back in, you know, where you can kind of see things.
Yeah, that really helped.
Yeah, but see now I'm clicking and dragging. I can't move it up or down because auto is on. But if I uncheck it, now I can click and drag it and move it exactly where I want it.
Okay.
And, and then if you need to see more detail, you have to put your mouse over the price column and either scroll or click and drag to kind of, you know, get more.
Lori, while you're right there, go to the previous high formation.
Right here?
No,
Or here?
yeah, there's your information.
What is it called?
That someone was asking about M's and W's. That is
Oh.
that's an M formation right there.
Oops, that was me. Okay, here's something to show you that happens when you're drawing. See how this magnet is highlighted?
Mm-hmm.
That means it's gonna stick to things. And if you don't want that, you have to turn that off before you click your tool. Like I wanted to click the trend line and, you know, just do a little thing like this there.
But that's a perfect information right there.
Okay, so then here, the path tool, I believe that this is part of what you get from the upgrade. So the path tool, you can go like this, click, Frank, you need this, click, click, click. You know, you can really quickly mark the path and the highs and the lows.
Do you see your information?
Yes. I see
All
a
right.
W down here too.
That's more of a head and shoulders, an upside down head and shoulders pattern. You see the big spike down? That's your head. Well, that's the shoulder. The next move down is your head. If you draw a line below where it bottomed out, there's your, go back to the very, right there, there's the head. And then you see the other shoulder where it came down, there you go. That's your other shoulder. So that's called the head and shoulders pattern.
Okay. And that.
Is that treated like a W where it's,
No,
you know,
it's created as that is a typical formation for a reversal. And usually the rule is you get in, you see the 2 spikes that go up? Move your mouse around and I'll tell you where to go. I can't see your mouse. No, move it down. Move it down to the head.
down here?
Right there, all right. Now move it up to this next shoulder.
Here?
Right there. You see, if you draw a line across between there and the next one where it formed like a double top? Right there. And go take it over to the left.
Here's another trick. I double clicked on the line and you can click extend left and it'll take the line you started
All right.
and do
All right. You see where it, just to the left of where that little red, or where you got a little dot there. No,
here
no, keep going
to the left or to the right?
to the right,
Here.
right there. Between there and the next one to the right, that's called the neckline of a head and shoulders pattern. That's called the neckline. And most books will say you get in at the break of the neckline.
Okay, so like that on the right, that.
Yeah, so your entry point would be at the break of the neckline, right there.
Right here.
Nice.
And that's a very standard pattern. It's called a head and shoulders, or a reverse head and shoulders.
And
But
then
you
on the same thing going down where you have more of your, well, I guess that wouldn't really be a W.
Well, on
What did you-
an M and W, you get in at the break of the apex.
Yeah.
I'll find a better way to do it. But one of the things I wanted to encourage you guys to do when we, especially you, Tracy, when you mark up your charts so pretty, right? You can
Mhm.
publish them, right? I'm going to publish this idea. And let's see, continue publishing. Oh, actually, I do want to see anything. Let's see. And you can keep it private. You don't have to have just for you. You can see a picture, but what's cool is that you can get a link and you can share it with Frank, or you can share it in the group, right? And we can go look at it, say, hey, what do you guys think about this? Do you think this is that W pattern that, Frank was talking about, right?
Mhm.
And, you can say, are you long on this strategy, neutral, short? If you're just putting something up there, you can do that. Category, they have different categories. But I just thought that would be cool.
When you publish it, what type of file is it, Laura? Is it a
Let's see, let me just
Test. Yeah.
testing. Oops. And let's see if that will let me publish.
You
it
need a
next.
category? No?
Let's see.
just chart patterns, quick chart pattern, because that's what this discussion was.
I'm going to give you a. All right, so now that's published on my profile, and let's see. And we can comment on each other. So here, this is where I come share it. Oh, maybe I can't do that if it's private.
Make a copy. Could you share it then? Make it mine.
Oh, so like if we liked your chart, Tracy, we could click make it mine, and now we've got all your lines and everything that you did.
Yeah, but then that would
But-
have to be public somehow, because we still don't know
Yeah.
how to get it.
It would, but I don't mind. So just learning, right? Okay, so how do I get back there? I think I have to go to my profile.
Oh.
And then see here, I've got that's an idea. You can post scripts, blah, 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 but this is just an idea. So say testing, and it's locked. So how do I share a test?
Maybe that embedded stuff. Can you copy the embedded?
No, it's all dimmed out. Let me try this here. So I copied that link. I'm just going to go to
If you
Go to
got
WhatsApp and see if you can paste it in WhatsApp.
oh, it worked. Okay. So you can, if you click on share and you click on the link to this chart, even though it's dimmed out. So I'm going to put it in WhatsApp and let's see if you guys can get it.
Yeah, that should work.
So that way you don't have to show it to the world, but you can share it as a link. And
Yeah.
what's cool is we can follow each other. You know, like you can find
Yeah,
my
it came up nice.
Okay, good. So that's just something really cool about TradingView. And Frank, if you start doing this, you know, all those wonderful drawings that you do, you can publish it and your little harem can follow you.
Yeah,
Now,
that
of course, if you,
that came up really good.
all right, great.
Yeah.
Those are things I was thinking of that last night because somehow I put a setting on. I don't know how I did it, but let me go back to this German thing here.
So did you say, Frank, why you're not trading today? There's not much going on, or?
Well, Fridays is not a great day, but I saw nothing scanning the charts that gave me any type of structure. And when I said, you know, so I've got other things to do, and I
Sure.
didn't see anything that it looked really promising for the rest of the afternoon. So
Mm-hmm.
Start to the day.
Fridays and Mondays are not the best days to trade.
Mm.
What was I just going to show you?
That's the other thing that you got to learn is you don't need to be in the market every single day. You know, that's why that's why on Sunday nights I look for, you know, when are the red news days.
Mm-hmm.
But what
There
I
was
want
something
you
I
to-
was just going to show you, but I forgot. All right.
What I want you to do, Lori, is compare your roller coaster deal.
Uh-huh.
You know, your entry point stuff, and see if you can figure out, not that I don't want you to use the coaster, but see if you can figure out just from price action, if you can simulate where you would have gotten if it give you the same entry points. Does that make any sense?
Say it one more time. Do you mean to compare how you've
Yeah, I
trained
want
us
you
to
to
what?
compare the roller coaster
Yeah, would you see how you'd get in?
to just price action. See,
Right.
see if you recognize from price action where it would have been not a good trade to get in, even if all the indicators showed that you should have gotten in.
Okay. So let me
Yeah.
get rid of this stuff here and go to my auto. Put it back on candles. Thank you. Oh, it is on candles.
Because Christy is a profitable trader and she does have a really good set of rules. All right.
Yeah.
But I want you to get to see if you can recognize almost the same entries or better entries by following price action. And that will really help you.
Okay, so I'm looking at this. So what I would do is I'm going to grab my path tool. And I'm going to start here, low, high. Now I would count this little dinky thing as a low.
Don't be so well, you could.
All right, so I'm seeing higher highs.
All right, well, you have
Low,
gotten in at the
higher.
start at the very bottom, at the low.
Right here.
Go to the highest, the next high, not,
Right here.
no, follow your yellow line and forget that little short retracement, go to the next high. That high, now go to the low. Is that low higher than the previous low?
No.
No, I said forget that low right there.
Oh, okay. Then this one, yes.
Yeah, you don't need to be you don't need every single candle, right? So that low is higher than the previous low.
So how do you decide what one is worthy of
You
you
don't,
know,
you're on what time frame?
15.
Yeah, so little two candle things, I don't usually mark up. I would
So
go,
you would have gone from here
yeah,
to here,
exactly,
to here,
exactly. That's
to
better.
here.
Yeah. You might have gotten in at the break of that previous high because you formed your higher low, and you would have gotten in maybe two candles before they actually told you to get in.
So
When it broke that high right there, when it broke that high, would have been an entry point.
when it broke this high,
No, when it broke the previous high.
this one,
Yes, because
which is what I think
No.
they're saying with this green line.
yeah, exactly. I want you to see how they're getting. So if you drop down to the low from where your mouse is at, that formed a higher low, right?
Correct.
Now, as it starts moving up, you would have looked at getting in at the break of that right there. You would have looked at
Right
getting.
there,
Yep,
which is what they're said to do.
exactly. So now you're starting to see. What I'm asking you to do is look at pure price action and see how it matches up with
Right.
their
The training wheels.
Yes.
Okay. Right. And so we would have gone long.
And then you formed a lower. Your last low was actually lower than the previous low. So it kind of broke,
Right.
it kind of broke structure there.
Right. But it bounced.
Then it bounced. But you're still okay.
Right.
And,
So that's why we would have set the stop loss at below the green line. Like if we entered here, I would have put my stop loss down here. Is that what you would have done?
that is correct.
Yay. Okay. And then I would have put my take profit according to Christie at 1.5. So it'd be somewhere up here. Well, it'd be right where we have it drawn.
Yeah, right where you have it.
Okay. Cool.
Now, if you get a low that breaks below, if it starts moving down and breaking down, then you actually have kind of you're forming a head and. What time frame are you on?
15.
Yeah, all right. So 15 is not bad. But if it starts breaking down, you can exit the trade long before your stop loss.
So this is the 4 hour. Oh, this is what I was going to show you guys. See these dots?
Yeah.
They're showing other people's thoughts or ideas, as they call it, on this particular pair. So you can click on the dot and see this guy's.
That's a Gartley.
That looks.
It's called the Gartley pattern.
It's called a garden what?
Gartley. It's called the Gartley pattern.
Oh,
That's
it looks pretty.
That's a whole subject in itself.
Yeah, but I mean, these are things like you might see these dots. I have to figure out how I put it on. I did it totally by accident, but
Right.
you know.
But
You
take a
can
look
see
at the
people.
Gartley pattern and you can see, once again, you can see that the really important thing is higher highs and higher lows.
Mhm.
Almost every pattern is formed by the higher highs and higher lows. So that big move down was the long-term move down. And then it
Mhm.
pressed back up, and then it formed at the, follow it down now. You formed
But what
a,
made this significant is that it's now, instead of lower highs and lower lows,
well, no,
it's
that
now-
was the high of that movement, and then it dropped from there.
right, to see.
So now you formed right there a higher low than the previous low.
Okay.
All
So
right.
C is higher than A. Yes.
Yep, exactly. And then I don't know what time, but then you start moving up.
This is the 4 hour.
All right. So then it started moving up. But on the 4 hour, you can already see just by the candle patterns that you formed a higher low than the last low.
Mhm.
So if you were trading 4 hour patterns, you could have gotten in at the break of that previous high.
Hmm.
Or actually,
now-
I mean, if you were really trained, see what that little red candle is in the middle, moving up? No,
Right here?
no, go down to the bottom and it's right there, all right?
Oh, right here. Okay.
Right there. See how weak that pullback was?
Yeah.
And that happened right at that, at your B spot.
Oh, yeah. The
All right.
apex.
So you may have been able to enter as it started going back up and you could have ridden that thing all the way up.
Okay. So now this guy's prediction is that it's going to go down. Do you agree with that? He says, I can see one big great setup from this instrument selling it down until we break our previous daily low as we are mitigating our daily bearish order block, whatever that means.
Yeah, well, that means something to me, but he's right about that. So
And he's got his,
you
this
see
is
the yellow line?
what do you call it? What are these things called that we drew yesterday?
Fibonacci levels.
Thank you, the Fibonacci. So he's got that on there too.
Yep. So now what he's waiting for and what I would be waiting for is to see, I'd wait for it to pull back.
So what's cool about this, even though he published this at a certain time frame, it's applied on a live chart. So I just clicked that button and now it showed me, more bars from when he saved it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And when I close it, I can, this is the dot where he was given his little idea.
Yeah, that's
So we can
a
see.
great idea.
Yeah. If I can only remember how I put it on. All of a sudden, like, what are all these dots on my chart? And then I hovered over it and I saw that. So like if we go to, let's see, I gotta get my,
Frank, are you seeing the USD Japan yen? It's sort of climbing back. It's sort of climbing back up. Maybe hit the last, support line.
Let me take a look at it real quick.
I got it up.
Okay, cool. So I'm in the 5 minute frame.
Oh, and here's another tip for TradingView. If you just click in the middle of your chart
Yeah.
and you type in 5,
Yeah.
it'll
Oh, okay.
change the time and then you hit enter.
Nice.
If I want to quickly see, the 4 hour, I just do 4H and hit
So
enter.
is your question,
Yeah, like would you use this? Would you use maybe the Fibonacci retracement, like putting the 0 at the bottom of this?
are you on the USD Japanese yen?
Yes.
Yes, you see where it formed that wick?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I would be drawing it from the top
Right. Okay.
Oh, this one.
to the wick.
To the wick. Okay.
So you're going to go left to right. So your top wick to your bottom wick, like this.
I think so. Yeah.
Can you make the candles smaller? There you go. Yeah, that's correct. I'm looking at this on my MT4
Yeah, same.
on a 15-minute chart.
Here, you want to share your desktop, Frank?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
See, Frank, you could give out homework. Okay, girls, publish your charts. I want to check your homework.
I think Lori's begging for some homework.
All right. So here,
Yeah, because it makes you know, like, are you getting it?
Yeah.
can you see my chart?
Yes.
Yes.
So I drew my Fibonacci from here to the wick, and I'm approaching the 38 fib right here.
Okay. Yes.
So the first thing I do is when I draw the fib, I draw my 38 just so I can get a
Mhm.
reference point, and I draw my 61/8. And then I get rid of my fib.
Okay.
I don't have to, but that's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's good for me to see that you put the bottom, you're the 0 at the bottom of that wick. That's what you meant.
Yeah, so
Okay,
here-
cool.
and what this means is, there's my move, and if it comes all the way back up, it's 100% retracement of this move.
Mm-hmm.
This is a third, this is basically a 1/3 retracement of this move. And if it stops here and starts heading down, there's a chance it's gonna break this low.
Okay. I'm just thinking I might as well keep an eye on this pair.
But this is the first time that the yen, I mean, it's been climbing like a rocket ship forever.
Yeah, I keep thinking it's reached it's high, but it keeps going higher.
But this is a place it could form a high. It could be I drew this 70. This is my 61/8 here.
Oh, I got a trading view alert. I'll be right back.
You girls are addicted.
NAS 100. All right, let's see.
Is Ruth, did Ruth sign up for that as well? Because she was asking about NAS 100 this morning, but I didn't know.
No, she was trying to get it loaded on her chart. I think she's trying to see if there's a way she can do it with other indicators that she doesn't have to pay for.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can simulate, I've got a couple indicators that will simulate the other indicators that you're subscribed to, but they're not. I'd rather, if you don't mind, Laura, you keep the indicators because you're paying for them monthly.
I'm sorry, Frank, what are you saying?
I'm saying, I'm saying all right, so let me show you another famous indicator that was developed by a guy that I view, Navigator. All right, so this is similar, but it's free. This is a similar indicator to one of Christie's indicators. I think she calls it
It's
a
like
shark.
spaghetti.
She calls it the shark out of the water. I think she calls it.
Oh, yes. Yeah, shark out of water, SOW.
There's a shark out of water right there. And
I
it's-
need to jump off. Thanks so much, Frank.
yeah, I gotta go too, girl. So
Yeah. Okay. Thank
Maureen,
you.
Bye,
I want to
Tracy.
connect with you later today.
Okay.
Will you be free after lunch or something?
I think so.
Okay, well, I'll just try you.
Yeah.
Okay, bye, guys.
Okay,
Bye.
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 Have a great day.
love you, girls.
Thank you,
So-
Frank.
Bye.
What was the name of that last one, Frank?
A TVI.
TDI. Yes, that's what she uses. Okay. So there's a free one on that. Okay. Yeah, and if you have any indicators that you want me to put in the Dropbox, because I'm saving all the free ones that you've shared so far, and you can just give out one link and they're all there.
Well, I can do better than that, Lori. I can send you the whole folder of all my indicators if you want.
Well, there you go.
Wow, we're
Fine.
rich.
All right.
Yes.
Bye
All
bye.
right. Have a
Thanks,
good
Frank.
day.
Bye, Lori.
Bye.